Boys, do we just witness the most boring teamless Tuesday of the year already?
Quite possibly. Yes.
Definitely on the cards.
Oh my days. No changes, no nothing, no shocks. But we'll talk about it anyway. Let's get into the podcast.
Hello and welcome back to SC Blueprint. I'm here with the lads as usual. How are we doing, lads?
I'm good, thank you.
Wonderful, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm actually doing diabolically well. I know that's a little positive negative combo there, but sometimes that's just like how I want to start the day. All right, Dan, let's delve into some team lists, eh?
Yeah, cool. Team lists. Oh, do we want to actually do a summary of the whole show first, actually?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Let's run through it. Obviously,
Beautiful.
to start us off today, we'll be going over the team lists. Just talk you through any major surprises. Not that there's many, but we'll have a quick discussion. Then we'll move on to our fullback tier list. This is a one-time segment this week, but we'll be putting the top 19 priced fullbacks in a little tier list for you today. We've made it so you can have a go at it as well. So something to look forward to.
Hopefully we'll drop the link in our bio. But obviously you guys all saw the reel that went up the other day.
Oh, yeah.
So here's a bit more contention for you, and obviously you can make your own list and let us know how you go. But yeah.
Then we'll swiftly move on to the Physio Files. I've got 5 minutes worth of that prepared today. Just some talking points from some injuries and some changes. Then on to our panic buys and sells for the week, and then our trades and our VC and captains for the week. But yeah, obviously we'll start it off with our team list as we discussed before. I think we'll just move pretty quickly through this because there's not a lot to talk about, but just any major changes or sort of how we think matchups are going to be.
Cool, beautiful. Broncos versus Parramatta Eels. Only change in the Broncos starting side is Ezra Mam comes in and Hunt moves back to the bench, but that's what it was named as last Teamless Tuesday, so let's see if that maintains. On Parramatta's side, we've just seen Panasini drop out in favour of Samarani in the centres, and obviously with Jermaine Hopgood's suspension, Jack Williams moves back into prop, and Kelma Tuolungi gets a start on the edge. Anything notable from this game, gentlemen, to touch on quickly?
Nothing particularly notable other than the ghost exclusion of Will Panasini. I'm sure we'll hear about that soon. But I initially thought that late change last week was a tactical change by Maguire because due to the wizardry of the man, I suppose. But apparently Ezra was coming back from some sort of maybe calf injury or an ankle injury or something. I read on the wind. I heard on the wind. But yeah, other than that, I think it's pretty stock standard.
Yep, beautiful. Warriors versus Raiders. I think there's not many changes here either. The only things, this looks like 1 to 17 or 1 to 19, I guess now for the Warriors as far as I can see. Raiders, I guess the big news out of the week was that Noah Martin's now basically going to hold this spot on the edge forever with Matty Nicholson looking like he's going to be injured for a while, which we'll get into in the Physio Files. I don't think there's any change to this side. Laban still keeps his starting role, but we don't know how consistent that's going to be. Any more thoughts around any of the other players?
There is actually one other change. So Josh Papali'i out with his concussion. So that got classed as a Category 1 on the weekend. And so Morgan Smithies is starting at prop, which is a bit of an interesting change for me. Not someone who I thought would ever start at prop, but it'd be interesting to see whether he plays more of that lock role and Horsburgh shifts to a prop or what happens there. So obviously with that, Joe Roddy makes his way onto the bench.
Supercoach legend Joe Roddy.
I mean, he did have the highest average in the league
Highest average last year.
Also, worth noting, Timiko's on the bench, so maybe a minute split for Sasagi and Timiko this week, and then maybe, obviously, we know the player Timiko is, so then obviously maybe Sasagi drops back to the bench and then shares minutes with Noah Martin. But I'm sure we'll get into that in the show, so yeah.
Yeah, very good point, actually. I think there's every chance that Timiko will start and Sasangi will drop to the bench and split minutes, like you just said.
Maybe, yeah.
Cool. Roosters versus Rabbitohs. A few changes for the Roosters. Robert Toyer comes back to the centres to mark Latrell Mitchell, so non-owners will be rejoicing around the nation.
Yeah.
And the forward pack, a little bit of a different shape with Nat Butcher not keeping his spot, CY Wong coming onto the bench, Naf White and Colin starting in the pack with Egan Butcher at lock, so a little bit of a different arrangement there. For the Rabbitohs, Jaden Sullivan comes in at halfback to replace the injured Ashton Ward, while I believe Humphreys has his last week of suspension this week. Yes. So Sullivan's got 1 week to impress. Otherwise, looking the same for the Rabbitohs. Anything to know here, boys?
Sean Kepi moves onto the bench for the Rabbits. That's about it from me, really. Rob Toy obviously back. Egan Butcher swapping roles with Blake Steep's a bit of an interesting one. Whether they saw something they didn't like or whether they're just going for a bit more experience in the pack, we'll wait and see on that, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was harsh on that Butcher. He had a great game.
Yeah,
Anyway, they're not the most Supercoach relevant. Cool. Tigers versus Cowboys. Tigers. So first time we've had a look at this team, so I'll run through it properly. Dream Fuller at fullback, Taruva and Luke Lau-Lily on the wings. Taylor May looking like he's going to line up at right centre with Hamasi Makasini at left centre, Luai and Dewey in the halves, Terrell May, Coruscant and Fanua Pole in the front row with Samuela Fainau, Kai Pierce-Paul and Chwal finishing up the rest of the pack, and a pretty stock standard bench of Jock Madden, Sione Fainau, Royce Hunt, Seyfarth, Tristan Hope, and Gerald Skelton in the 19. Very interesting that Skelton has not been named as that starting winger in favour of Luke Lau-Lily. So maybe that might just be a thing moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's a pecking order thing at the Tigers. I think Skelton trained most of the season with the reserve grade. So, interesting to see he's fallen down the pecking order a bit from last year. Obviously, he was their go-to man last year when he wasn't injured for that left wing spot. So, yeah, some interesting talking points there. I don't think he'll swap into the starting side or anything crazy. I think they'll lock this in like it is.
Yep, beautiful. Cowboys, the big news of the week, Braden Burns got off his suspension. So those of us, which I think is everyone on this table, who hoped Tom Chester was going to get 3 weeks, looks like that's not going to be happening unless he keeps that spot over Labour when he returns from his suspension. Other changes... not a change, but Sam McIntyre and Helam Lukey both keep their starting edge roles. Johnny Bateman is out of the 19. So unless I've missed something, did he get suspended or injured or anything? Because he is not in the 19 anyway.
I might be tripping, but I thought I saw him in the 19 on Teamless Tuesday. Maybe not.
Maybe that's changed since
then.
then.
I think you're right. Yeah, maybe
now.
he did drop out. Yeah.
He also dropped out last week before the game. For Vegas, if we remember correctly.
He dropped out completely? Yeah.
So I think it's just they don't...
Might have just fallen out of favour.
Running the third, second rower. Interesting to see. I don't know, maybe it's an injury thing, but surely at this point it's not an injury thing. It's more of a coach's decision to put that forward.
Feels pretty harsh. Even if you don't want to start him, John Bateman's a very experienced player. Surely he's valuable to have on the bench in some capacity. But who knows what goes on in Todd Payton's head. Nothing else notable from that game.
Back to St. Helens, I reckon, or wherever he came from.
That probably sounds pretty realistic to me. Alrighty, Dragons versus the Storm. Dragons named the same back line, and it looks like the same forward pack to me. Still no Jacob Little on the bench, which means it looks like it's going to be still bigger minutes for the forward pack. We'll have a look at Ryan Couchman this week and the other Couchman brother to see what goes on there, and obviously still be a big game for Damien Cook for those owners. Melbourne Storm, same back line. Chan and Lasardi both keep their role on the edges. However, Sean Bloor has appeared into the reserves. So there's going to be a lot of changes in that Storm forward pack next week, I suspect, with Trent Liero, I believe, returning next week. Mm-hmm. I would say it's pretty realistic that Sean Bloor returns next week. So I think if you were someone who was looking at Chan and Lasardi last week, getting a little bit of FOMO, not owning them, I think you might be able to get away with it.
Can I just bring up a random talking point, or not quite random, but a talking point, lads? With Tui Kamakamigda at 13, do you think that is a big omen for Stefano? Bigger minutes, especially in a grindy sort of match against the Dragons, potentially?
Very good question. Honestly, yes. Because I'm looking at this bench and I'm not blown away by it at all. Cooper Clark was pretty impressive last week when he came on the field.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
I reckon he might take some of those minutes, but Jack Hetherington and David Mwali, I can't imagine them snaveling that many minutes away from Stefano.
Yeah, David Mwali particularly, not a big minute sort of player. Very destructive. I think that's kind of the approach they've gone through, is to just come out early and blow the Dragons out of the water with the size they have in their pack. Obviously a bit of a smaller Dragons forward back, but I did also see someone come out during the week and say that the Storm, as the game progresses, might look to play a bit wider through their edges and just work the Dragons middle around, which I thought was an interesting talking point. It does mean that Lasardi and Chan will probably get through some work again this weekend until the game opens up like it did. But yeah, look, I think Stefano's going to play some decent minutes. This will probably be a good game to see the maximum minutes he's going to sort of play, because Trent Liero will come back, and then obviously that's some more minutes gone. But yeah.
Was Trent Liero always an 80-minute guy last season? I can't remember now that I'm thinking about it.
I don't believe so. I will quickly fact check that.
It feels like to me he was, but that may be complete rubbish. While you do that, Ben, Penrith and Sharks teams look basically unchanged to me. Isaac Tungo stays in the reserve, so it looks like he's just completely out of favour with
I
Ivan Cleary.
believe he played 80 minutes of cup on the weekend.
Yeah, so I think he might just be done in this Penrith side at the moment, which feels pretty crazy.
There, but
feels very crazy. No other major changes to note. Isaiah Papali'i keeps his starting back row spot with Luke Garner and Sorensen moving to the bench. So that might be a sign of things to continue moving forward. And yeah, I think this Shark side is literally unchanged. So minimal talking points here. Thoughts on Isaac Tungo, as you just said?
Yeah, well, I have no idea, but I think it's relatively weird that they would drop him out. I've kind of heard, and obviously we know from previous seasons, he has had like relative defensive issues at times, but he's a premiership winning centre in your run. I wouldn't be doing that, ideally. But we kind of know how high Ivan is on Jenkins, and just to fit him and then Alamotti, who he seemed to favour in the final series last year, into the team, maybe Tunga's just the one who drops out.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you have Trent Leary's minutes, by the way?
Yeah, so it looks like about an average of 60. Some games he played up to 70, some games more like 50 to 40.
That's surprising to me, to be honest.
But yeah, about the 60-minute mark. So yeah, I would expect there to be some youngling on the bench to probably a Cooper Clark to take minutes from him when he obviously returns.
Cool. Just quickly as well, it really surprised me all this Tungo business because personally for me, I think Alamotti's a significantly better winger than centre.
Yeah, I agree.
Like maybe you want to fit Jenkins in as well, which is fair enough, but it just feels like it's putting other players in a non-favourable position. Like to do this, we're having to put Toto on the right, which moves him away from the powerful edge. We're putting Alamotti in the centres. I just think it weakens their backline, to be honest.
I think the fear for me around having Toto and Alamotti is just there's no attack in the air. They're obviously quite small wingers, don't really get up for the high balls. Maybe they want a kicking option. I know they kicked a lot to Jenkins the other day when they were down the Broncos end of the field. Maybe that's the consideration. But yeah, again, to me, it seems a bit weird that the whole preseason we thought Toto was going to be on the left and then Tungo and Paul Alamotti on the right. And then all of a sudden, round one, they just flip it right before or the day of or whatever it was when they made the changes.
Very interesting.
I feel like Jenkins just does the damn thing. Like he's a bit of a dog in the air.
He is good.
I feel like I don't know. It's a tough one, to be honest. I don't think there is a winning formula necessarily for Ivan there. Someone's got to drop out. And if Tungo maybe had a bad preseason, could be the way.
Fair enough. All right, Manly versus the Newcastle Knights. Big change for Manly is Siua Takiaho with that calf injury, meaning he's going to drop out for Kobe Hetherington coming in to start at prop. So it looks like it might be more big minutes for Taniela Paseka. Otherwise, minimal changes for Manly. Paul Bryan comes onto the bench. He's been bigly talked about this preseason, so let's see how he goes. Newcastle, I believe, have named the same side with still McEwen keeping that starting spot on the edge and Thomas Kant on the bench. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think there's any other changes here, boys. Any other quick thoughts?
Just the Manly bench breakdown, I guess. I'd never heard of 4 out of their 6 reserves until the start of this year. So they are quite weak on middles this week without Takiaho. So it will be interesting to see. Obviously, the Knights not got the strongest bench forward pack, but look, I expect them to win through the middle. So if they do that, I think the Knights can take this game pretty easily.
Obviously, you've got the inclusion of Brandon Wakeham still doesn't have an NRL photo on the team list app fame. But yeah, other than that, I think we're pretty good, lads.
Poor old Brandon Wakeham. I quite like Brandon Wakeham that one season he had the Tigers. Anyway, all right, Dolphins versus Titans, final game of the round. Notable change here for the Dolphins. Max Plath comes onto the bench in jersey 14, so it will be really interesting to see how he's utilised, whether he comes in at 9, at 13, or wherever. Very versatile player. Otherwise, I think there's no changes here for the Dolphins. Titans, as we all know, named an unchanged side after their shellacking by the Sharks. So fair play to Josh Hannay, showing a lot of faith in his young side. So I'd imagine their bench is all going to work pretty similar. I reckon Arama Howe will still play. He played 80 in the end. Yeah. I think Kubai will play that half-hour kind of role in the middle. And Tino, who only played about 50 minutes last week, if that, looks like he could be due for a similar kind of stint again this week.
Yeah. I think they'll slowly ease him back in. I think he'll get up there a bit later on in the season with his minutes. The important thing from the Dolphins as well, just to touch on your Max Plath point, Max Plath has spent the whole preseason training at hooker. So that's an interesting point. I expect him to sub on at hooker probably halfway through the match just to get a bit of match fitness back this week. But yeah, spent the whole preseason apparently training at hooker. So.
Interesting. I think that's an easy decision to make with this team, considering it's Brad Schneider in at 9 and not
Yes.
Kurt Donahue. Like, I can definitely see that happening. But I think it will be interesting to see when it's Kurt Donahue, because I know Morgan Knowles has got a lot of chat in this preseason about if he's going to keep that 13 role. So I think there could be an interesting little battle there between those three guys, because they can all kind of move between the positions. Yeah. Anything else there? I think that might be us.
I think we're good.
Shout out jersey 21 to Vita Nafahu. And that is the team list done for another week.
Sveta Nafahu actually player of the game in Q Cup for the Dolphins.
Really?
So
What a champion. Get him back in the NRL
gets
side.
back into the reserve list with a dominant performance at centre, funnily enough. So.
Is it? I hope I meet Tavita Nafahu one day. That'd be awesome. Lovely. Right. Team list done, boys. Good work.
All right, so moving on to our next segment, which is where we'll just go through a little fullback ranking. Now, obviously, there was a reel put out over the week with my take on fullbacks for the 2026 season, and we all differed in our sort of view slightly with this. I think me and Elliot,
So the comment section.
yeah, well,
Bloody hell.
me and Elliot were sort of similar that maybe Drinkwater was the place to stop. You were even considering going a bit after Drinkwater.
Yep.
I flamed for not putting the hammer in there. So, like, absolutely flamed. And you know what? I looked back at it, I was like, maybe it's a bit closer than maybe I considered, but I still think Drinkwater's just the better pick. But
Then Hammer, yes.
There's a couple Connor Tracy enthusiasts in there as well. I was like, okay.
absolutely.
Fair enough.
Was that Winston?
Yeah, Winston was in our comment section.
But yeah, so we figured today, why not use our fame and flame from that section and plug a little fullback tier list in. So obviously this will be up on screen for you right now. We're going to be doing it in front of us at the moment. But yeah, so for us, there's 6 tiers. The first one bordering on a must-have, someone you really need to own for the Supercoach 2026 season at some point. Strongly considering maybe it's like a player, for example, maybe for me, like a Turbo who has an injury risk, but if he's there and plays big minutes, then that's a great player. High ceiling, low floor, someone who can
Pretty
score
obvious.
really high or can't, depending on the week. Nothing special is like probably looking at like a good pod option if you really believe in someone, but not really someone you need to own. Strong avoid being someone we don't think you should own, and dump and run probably means that you're not even making the starting list. And there is a few here that are currently not making a starting list.
Yep.
So yeah, we're just going to go through each of our fullbacks. They're in a random order. They've been randomised. So we'll go through and sort of place them where we think they should be.
Alrighty.
All right, lads. The first player, Chance Nickel-Clockstad, Dan's favourite.
Yeah. I would say nothing special. I don't think Chance is that great, especially in Supercoach. He works hard and he'll get solid scores week to week, but absolutely not creative. Not a known like power guy, not a big tackle buster or offload or anything like that. He'll get his hit ups. He'll get 40 at least each game, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know if he quite makes the high ceiling, low floor category.
Definitely
for
doesn't
me.
have a high ceiling.
I feel like there's a game or two where he's got 100, but I'm pretty sure in those games he scored like 2 tries and
Yes.
a couple of try assists. So I think for that reason, I'm pretty happy with nothing special. Elliot?
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. All right. The next player for you, lads. Clint Gutherson.
You can have a thought.
I would say he's probably a tier above Chance. I'd probably a little bit reluctant to put him in the high ceiling, low floor, but
The more I think about it, he does have a creative sparks to his game.
Yeah.
Clint does love a hat trick.
yeah,
And in saying that, if you remember correctly, there was that brilliant start to last year. I think he got like 80, 90, and
Yeah.
100. And then I bought him in and he just went
And he
like
did
60,
nothing.
50, 60, 50. So I think high ceiling, low floor is
I think that might be pretty accurate,
not
actually.
actually the worst shout for him.
Yeah.
Did have a 20 last season as well. Played the full game for that, no injury. Just
What did he get in
couldn't
Vegas? Does anyone know off the top of their head?
I
He mustn't have got
think it was
anything.
about 60 odd. I could be
That's
wrong.
not bad from Clint. I would agree, though. I think that's a tier for him.
Yeah, we'll plug him in there for now while you do.
Let me see if I can get there quickly enough.
You're absolutely fine. The next man, the myth, the legend, comment section favorite, Connor Tracy. Where are we thinking we'll plug in?
Oh, Clint got 40 in Vegas.
My apologies.
Low floor. Connor Tracy, strong avoid.
Yeah.
I don't think Connor Tracy is anything special at all.
I don't think he has much of a hand in that Bulldogs attack.
Yeah.
Although I think he did pick up the only try. No, not the only try assist, but one of the. No, he didn't actually, did he?
No, I don't think so.
my
But
mistake.
I also think that last year he was helped out by that sweeping role. Obviously, the scoring change is going to mean that that's not as relevant this year. So I think strong avoid's probably a good spot. I think it's a little bit overpriced. Probably not worth your money there. There's better options.
100%.
Next player, Dylan Edwards. Now, pre the weekend, my opinion might have been slightly different, but he looked pretty solid on the weekend. He just looked to get involved. Probably for me, strongly considering.
I'd agree. I like Edwards.
Yeah. Look, obviously, going to play Origin, which is my concern.
Maybe.
But yeah.
You never know.
I think I'm still strongly considering him. He played really well against the Broncos. He just look for the ball, which is what you want from your fullback, and not someone who typically will be impacted too much by the new scoring system.
Yeah, well, you know what you're going to get from him, don't you? Just high base, high work rate. Obviously has the chance to score tries, follows up the middle usually. So, strong option.
I think that's a great tier for him.
Yeah. Next, the comment flamers' favourite, Hammer Tabuai Fido.
He's just the definition of high ceiling, low floor, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Could get 4 tries in a game and get 150, or could get 15. So,
yeah.
You love him for it. You know what you're paying for. You're paying a premium as well, though. Isn't he a hell of a lot this year?
700K.
Very high price tag for Hammer. But he did get the second most tries in the comp last year, I'm pretty sure. So he's got it in him.
Does he have the CTW dual, or were we just playing on potentials there?
We'll just play on potentials.
Yeah, okay. I was just trying to double check in my mind. Yeah, so definitely.
Last year he had it, I'm pretty sure.
I don't even think he had it. I think he might have lost it last year. Or am I tripping?
I can definitely remember a year. Maybe it was the year before.
I think it might have been a year
2
before.
years ago, yeah.
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 Anyway, high ceiling, low floor. It's an easy one.
Easy.
Ahead of Clint Gutherson as well, by the way. I think he's better than Clint.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if
you might have to.
Yeah. Awesome. Next player, Isaiah Yongi, my fan favorite.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
I can't lie. He's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's strongly considering
I'd
for me
consider
too.
the bloke, to be honest.
Strongly considering feels really aggressive.
The Eels scored 4 points, and I think he got 60.
Yeah, see, we did say this on our reaction pod, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think I'd agree. I like Ayongi. He's got something about him.
Yeah. He's got a bit of the dog in him.
He works real hard, and he's got pretty good hands. Like, he's definitely a better creative player than Edwards, I'd say.
Yeah,
Better
you're probably
creative
right.
player. Has not quite the base work rate.
Oh, no.
But it is up there. I will give him credit where credit's due. He does go looking for the ball. Very safe in the air as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's strongly considering. I think he's just behind Dylan Edwards, though.
I'd agree.
I think Dylan Edwards is, you're obviously paying more. That's something we should say as well. Price does factor into this. So the Hammer, like, you know, if he was 400K, he'd be bordering on a must-have. but he's not. So we've got to consider price as well for that. And I think for Ayongi's price, he is a strongly considered.
Yeah, I think he's worth a glance.
All right, next player, Jareem Buller. Not someone we've actually seen play this year yet, because obviously Tigers had the round 1 bye. So I guess we'll have to look back to last year as a whole for him. But yeah, I'm keen to hear your thoughts, lads.
I'm thinking nothing special or strongly avoid. Probably leaning nothing special.
Personally, I was going to say nothing special.
Yeah.
I am in agreement with that.
I quite like Buller.
He's quite an electric player, but I don't know if there's.
I think he's the Hammer with less try scoring about him.
I think he's the Hammer in a worse, or a team that scores less points as well. So if he was at the Dolphins, maybe he could be up there. But yeah.
This is Jareem Buller, who got a hat-trick in 20 minutes for Fiji. I'm not going to tell you the opponent, but yeah, he did get a hat-trick for 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's very electric. Also, put Jareem Buller ahead of Charles Nickel.
They were playing the Cook Islands.
Yeah, I think that's a good tier for him.
I'm loving this Charles Nickel Clogstad hate from
Nah.
You hate him, bro.
I think they're phasing him out at the Wires as well.
So they should.
To a pick, he might jump in there.
Are we going to get to him eventually?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sick.
He is in the list.
Oh, cool.
James Tedesco is the next player.
Now, are we considering this like full season perspective looking at it?
Full season perspective, yes.
Bordering on a must then.
Yeah. At his current price, even.
See, that's what I mean, though. It's like...
Probably looking at it like, would you pick him up in the next couple of weeks is my approach. So it's Dylan Edwards, Isaiah Yongi, people are probably considering.
Oh, okay. I think put him at the top of strongly considering then.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I tend to agree.
Let's do it like that.
Just at his price, I think he's obviously a great player. We know what he'll do. Banged out, I think it was 97.
It was really good.
In a pretty poor Roosters performance.
Yeah.
but he is priced like that. Like he has to do that every week.
Yeah.
Which is the not concern, but like he needs to get that. So if the draw lightens up, I think
James Tedesco will definitely be in my team at some stage this season.
Yes, absolutely. I tend to agree with that.
Beautiful.
Next player, Jai Gray.
Yeah.
An interesting one.
I feel bad putting him in nothing special because he's definitely better than Dream and Chance.
I think I'd put him in at least high ceiling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was genuinely.
He's not in
considering
strongly considering, in my opinion.
Probably.
I don't know.
He's
if
pretty
I'd-
close, you know.
I'd put him in.
I'd probably
high
put him
ceiling,
before the
low
hammer.
He
ceiling.
scored a try on the weekend and got 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a.
Probably in a. Would you say a lower base game in the wet or no?
He does tend to average about between 40 and 50 in base. Yeah, but he.
I don't think it's that high, to be honest. I think it's a little bit lower. But yeah, he's pretty good for base considering how small he is.
I don't know. I tend to agree with nothing special. It feels bad, but I don't know if he has that high ceiling.
I don't think he does have a high ceiling. I think I'd rather take a punt on a hammer than go for a Jai Gray who's going to be more solid, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
I do feel bad though. Sorry, Jai Gray. I really quite like you.
But he's definitely at the top
Oh,
spot of.
well clear of those two, especially Chance.
Jeez Louise.
Theme of the podcast. All right, next player, Kyle Weeks. I think we all know where he's going.
Another definition of high ceiling, low floor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who remembers last year where I started him at 5'8",
Oh
and he
my
stunk,
goodness.
and then took him out, and then he got those like however many hundreds. Good stuff.
We're going to talk about positioning in a moment, but yeah, the Raiders look good again this year. I was
Yeah.
surprised how good Sanders played, but he looked really good, took control. Yeah, Strange almost kind of played a bit of a backseat role and just dished it out early to his edge, which is not something I'm complaining about as a Sanders owner, but yeah.
I can't lie. I thought it would be the opposite. I thought the Sanders would be dishing and Nathan Strange would be taking the charge in that team. But
Yeah.
apparently
Yeah.
not.
Only one game, so we'll see how that
Yeah.
progresses.
Continues,
But
yeah.
yeah, if those two can just sort their stuff out and like Kyle Weeks just do what he does, causing chaos around the ruck, then he's going to be electric again.
Personally, I'd put him in the middle.
I tend to agree. I think it's just below the hammer, but above Clint Gutherson.
Yeah. I'd say I think it's very close though between the hammer and Kyle
Yeah,
Weeks.
I agree.
Yeah, considering price, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next player, Kalen Ponga.
I think he's bordering on a must.
Yeah, I don't think I give this tier out lightly, but he looked electric in Vegas.
All it's going to take this weekend is him to get like 70 plus, and he'll be coming in. I think.
Maybe not even 70 for me. Maybe
Or
60.
like not 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a solid-ish showing performance. Solid-ish showing performance. Wow, that's good English. A solid-ish performance from Ponga, and he'll be coming in.
Absolutely. Next player, Kenny. I think we've just gone back
Same
to back
tier.
with that list.
Back to back.
Yep.
You look pretty good as well.
Yeah, he got.
Nothing doing for Titans. Banged out a 59.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. Because as well, this is the beauty of him being only 490-ish K. Like a 59 is a good score.
Yeah.
He's still going to go up from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Next player, Reece Walsh.
Probably top of strongly considering, to be honest. I don't think he's a must-have yet.
He's definitely not a must-have. I'd put him behind Teddy and strongly considering. But yeah, I think that's the tier for him. Far out, it feels generous though. Such a honking game on Friday.
But I think that's the Broncos, to be honest. And put it this way. If he gets another terrible score, he's borderline a must-have because look at what his price is going to
Oh,
tank.
mate, if he's
But-
under 700K,
But on the other hand, if he bangs out a 150, is he almost bordering on a must-have as well? Because what if he just turns up from that week? Obviously not probably in the next week, but in the near future, as we're saying, like the next few rounds, is he just bordering on a must-have either way of his
yeah,
performance?
very big game against Parramatta tonight. Very interesting.
Yeah, I hope he tanks. Because I love him. I hope the Broncos win and he tanks. So
I don't
can
know
get
if
him
I
into
hope he
my
tanks.
team.
I kind of hope he does well because then I want other super coaches to be deterred and I low-key want to bring him in.
Yeah.
If he starts
I think if he
showing a
starts,
little bit.
I think if he starts like if he gets another 30, I think that would be enough to deter super coaches. Is my
yeah,
opinion.
maybe you're right.
Like I think you're right. If he gets like a 60 or something where people can see signs of life, that would probably attract them more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like a bell curve.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
scores really
Yeah.
high or really low, people are gonna be scared. If he
Yeah.
scores kind of in the middle, it might be about right.
Yeah.
Good old Reece.
All right, another controversial player with a low score round one. Scott Drinkwater.
Let's say we're considering all things, right?
Okay.
We know the player he is. He kicks goals. We think he's going to kick goals. Rib cartilage injury, potentially minimizing output. High ceiling, low floor.
I think for now you have to say that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think he's at the top of the list.
He's definitely not a buy.
At the top of that list. It
but
feels so.
we know what player he is.
We do know what player he is.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with the injury. Like, is he just going to carry that the whole season?
It'll come good in six-ish weeks, I think. 6 to 8 potentially is the lingering period, I think. But obviously re-aggravation is there, but I don't think it's technically a season-long injury.
He just looks so limited in that second half. I think he kind of has to go there.
Yeah.
100% not a buy, though.
Yeah, I don't think
not a buy.
He's a buy.
But I think on merit and who he is as a man and player, that might drag him up a bit.
He could still easily bang out like 60 to 80 if the Cowboys start doing well. This weekend will be a good test against a West Tigers side who are some fresh faces in there. Kaipis Paul moving over, obviously. Makasini in there. Luke
Lau
Lily, thank you for the pronunciation there. It'll be an interesting test to see how the Cowboys go because he could easily kick 20 to 25 points in goals every week if they're doing well.
Yeah. I think it's been an interesting one for Drinkwater this week. We could get a shot of his ceiling, or we could just see how truly limited he is with his injury.
I know in the new age of social media and short attention spans, people like to keep the relevance of the last sort of week and a bit in their mind, which is fair enough from the Vegas, but I feel like people forget who Scott Drinkwater is. Like in the comments, they were flaming for you for not taking the Hammer before, Edwards before, who else? Connor Tracy, whatever. Like everyone had an opinion about that, or were trying to say you were wrong. He was like the 5th or 6th best player in Supercoach last year.
Yeah, he's very good.
Bro, who's forgetting the name? Scotty Drinks. He's the guy.
The GOAT.
He had a terrible showing in Vegas because he got a rib cartilage injury 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it's not insignificant though. Like if that's going to affect him, then I see where people are coming from.
But I think people... Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I don't think we were talking as a buy. We were kind of talking about duration.
Just who
I think that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's valid.
Just a conversation.
Lovely.
Sewer, foul longer.
I think he's not
tough one.
He's not bordering on a must to me. I'm between strongly considering and high ceiling, low floor. I think it looks really good because he got 100 and whatever he got against a disgraceful Parramatta side. Like I don't think I can say that enough how disgraceful they were.
Yeah.
Would it shock anyone if he got like 30 this week? Wouldn't shock me.
No.
Not at all.
I think I'm pretty tempted to put him in that tier.
High ceiling, low floor, that is.
Yeah. Were you guys going to say strongly considering?
Strongly considering.
I would.
I think when we factor in price, he's 5.
Maybe that's the tiebreaker.
I'd put him just below Iongi at the end of that tier, I think, for me. I
think him versus Iongi is really interesting, actually. It definitely feels like Sua's better than Iongi.
Does it?
Probably
also when you think about price, isn't Iongi like 640?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the team they play in, if Para's going to go terribly all season and Iongi's just going to try to drag them off the line.
I've now switched from high ceiling, low floor to above Iongi. I think that's my opinion, is strongly considering above Iongi.
Okay.
Definitely not above Edwards, though.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree?
I'm happy with that.
I agree.
I think Iongi and him could go either way, but
I think that's tight.
If the consensus is there, that's absolutely
If they cost the same, I would think I'd definitely have Iongi ahead of him.
All right, next person of note. I put 2 people in here just to have a bit of a conversation about Tane Tuapiki.
I love Tuapiki, but for now it's dump and run.
It is.
I hope he gets a starting fullback spot at the Wires. I'll be bringing him in. I love Tuapiki.
What's his price?
495 or 4 something?
Really? High 4,
I thought it
low
might have been higher
5.
than that.
You guys yap and I'll find it.
High 4, low 5. I think for me, if he ever gets a starting role, he's probably jumping from the bottom tier to the top tier. Because obviously he has that centre wing duel as well. That's a huge plus for him.
Yeah, 500 flat for Tane Tuapiki.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Okay.
So he would be bordering on a must-have if he did ever get that starting role.
Unfortunately not, though.
No, for now, he's a dump and run.
Yeah.
The next player, Tom Trbojevic. So a very interesting one for me. I'm keen to hear your thoughts on it, Elliot, first of all.
It's got to be strongly considering, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you got injuries there. Obviously, could explode. I don't think he can come in yet. He's not a trade-in for me yet, especially not on my team. But yeah, I think he's definitely pretty highly on strongly considering.
Yep, agreed.
Yep. Where would you place him?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking just below Dylan Edwards.
Oh, I'd go above Edwards.
I'd probably go above Edwards at the moment.
I don't think I could go above Walsh, though.
Probably not above Reese.
Really? That's interesting.
I mean, it's tough.
Nah, it's probably either or.
He's definitely not above Teddy.
no chance. No.
Oh, that's really tough, actually. You know what? I think I might go above Reese. I think Turbo is more consistent.
I tend to agree. Got 100 on the weekend, which was pretty interesting because he didn't look to do it. Like the Manly Seagulls didn't look amazing.
He was doing everything, though.
But he was doing
He was running that side.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Fogarty's kind of just going to unlock this next gear of Tom Trbojevic in that sense.
Well, I think he just won't be doing much of significance in terms of playmaking at all.
Yeah.
I think it'll just be Turbo show to run.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Next player, another unfortunate dump and run for now, but Trey Fuller.
Yeah. Unfortunately for now, it is a dump and run. But again, if Hammer ever moves to the centres or ever gets injured, absolutely worth a look.
Yeah,
But he did get on the field last game, didn't he? I think he did.
I mean, if he did, I tell you what, that's going to tank his price.
Yeah. I'm fairly sure. Anyway.
let's have a look.
Because he is part of that 19-man bench. And again, if an outside back ever goes down, he'll be the first bloke on. Unless David in the
What
front
I
gets
remember
pulled up.
seeing him go on in the back end of that game.
Interesting.
Yeah,
'Cause I remember
7
thinking-
Supercoach.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I remember
like-
thinking, damn, he's going to drop.
If they keep
Damn,
doing
he's gonna
that,
drop.
then he'll be 200K by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy, actually.
I tell you what, it was a blissful 3 days, was it? Where I had him in my Supercoach team. 3 days.
so
It
good.
was
Is
pretty
there
sick.
any world where Hammer plays Origin doesn't back up Trey Fuller fullback?
I don't think you could do it.
You probably can't. Can
I
you?
don't think you could do it.
Just-
I get what you're saying,
yeah.
but I don't think you could do it.
Yeah.
Chester down to Trey Fuller.
Down. If he keeps getting if he keeps getting 7
I mean,
points.
no. Well, I guess if you hold Chester, because Chester's only going to play 2 games.
Yeah.
Trey Fuller get up to 200K, maybe. Okay.
If the stars align.
If this starts the line.
Anyway, next guy.
Final fullback.
Dally M leader from round 4 last year, whatever
Yep.
it was. Yeah.
Interesting player, actually. I left him to the end on design. Will Kennedy.
I've got a strong opinion, but if you guys want to go first.
I know what it's going to be. You go for it, mate.
Strong avoid.
Yeah, I agree.
Kennedy is not a remarkable player at all. He can
What do you
nab a
think
try
nothing's
every now
special?
and then. He can nab an assist every now and then. Do I trust him week in, week out? Absolutely not. I think I would rather have... except for Chance. I think I'd rather have every single... Actually, can we move Chance down to strong avoid? Why would you ever go for Chance? Like, I'm thinking Tracy, Kennedy, and Chance are legitimately pretty similar fullbacks to having that strong avoid.
I don't know.
Whereas the blokes above that at least have some merit.
I have some faith in Chance. I think if the Warriors get going, then he will get points just
Okay,
naturally.
okay.
Um,
Do you agree with me for Kennedy strong avoid, or do you want to go nothing special?
personally, I'd probably put him in nothing special. He's not amazing.
You're the
but
tiebreaker then, mate.
I feel like he can. He does score a lot of tries. Scored a lot of tries last year. Does have a good 80 in him every now and again. Does obviously have some bad scores as well, but yeah.
Just doesn't have a ceiling at all.
Yeah, I just don't know why you would buy him or Chance. Like, they feel like the same player to me.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe if we're going Chance and nothing special, then he's the same.
I mean, if we're going for that argument. But then I think, is Tracy significantly worse
Probably.
than Chance or Kennedy? I think
He
they're
scores less, probably, and he probably,
maybe.
I don't know.
It feels to me they're very similar players, so I'd have them all in strong avoid. Because who are the other two in nothing special? That's Jareem Buller and...
Jack Gray.
See, they're both way better than
They
those
are
three.
better.
They're both way better than those three.
I would bring up a point about Kennedy that he does have a lot of high scores from last year. Does have a considerable amount of sub 30 performances.
Correct.
Like I'm talking 5 to 6, but he does have a couple of strong.
How many?
He has.
How many scores of like 80 plus? Is that what you're counting?
I was counting 75 plus, but
Oh, okay, that's fine too. Great podcasting.
4, and then a lot of high.
That's
7s.
it?
Yeah, I think. It's,
Come on.
I do think now that I've seen that, it's probably a strong avoid.
And I think we move Chance down as well.
I don't know. I think John's.
You want to leave him up there?
I think John's a better player than those two, personally.
Tiebreaker Elliot.
I won't be offended. But
Yeah, let's leave him.
Boo. Okay, that's fine.
I think he scores a weird amount of tries.
Maybe he does.
yeah,
Maybe he does.
he does.
I don't
All
know
right.
if I'll ever own him, though.
No,
I think it's bang on though, lads. I think we've nailed it.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, feel free to drop some comments and say what you would have done differently. As much as we joked about being flamed, like it was good fun and I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Hopefully we get that bloke saying Connor Tracy's going to be in bordering on a must again.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring back the
That'd
goat.
be great.
But yeah,
Lovely.
all right. Well, I guess with that, we'll move into the physio files for today. There's actually a bit to talk about today. Contrary to belief, I didn't actually believe there'd be too much because obviously we touched on it earlier how many team lists are unchanged. But there is some key injuries of note, so we'll just quickly talk about that. The first one being Stafford Toa injury. I think it was described as a couple of weeks. I'm going to presume 2 to 3 for that, which means Luke Lay-Lily moves into the starting side for the Tigers. Obviously another cheapie, but I probably wouldn't pick him up at all, just purely because he'll only get that 2 to 3 weeks, and then Macassini will be straight back on that wing.
For a point of contention there, I do want to ask you guys, what do you think the significance is for having Skelton on the bench there?
Yeah.
Is there a chance he's
He's returning from injury.
and then they switch him in?
I don't know. That's my only guess. Is maybe they just want to put him on the reserves. I literally don't know. I honestly
For that
have no idea.
19-man bench
But
purpose.
My guess is who else do they have in the outside back? Stafford Toa's injured.
I'm sure they'd have someone.
Luke Lay-Lily's.
Heath Mason.
They definitely have someone on their roster if they wanted to put like another outside back on their
Mason
bench.
played fullback last year.
Yeah.
Center in the trials. I'm sure he could play
can
winger
do
at a
it if need
pinch. I feel like he would be a way better
Maybe.
utility on the bench there.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason they picked Skelton, and I think it's because he's pretty good, but I don't know if maybe there's a little bit of worry about them.
Interesting.
Turning.
That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, good point on that. Takiaho, obviously, out for 1 week, which is going to mean more middles minutes for particularly Paseka. Yeah, I'd say will be the big minute man there. Gerbo will probably have to play max minutes as well, nearly. Yeah, they're running really low on middles with Takiaho out. So, yeah.
Only 1 week though, so
Yeah.
Your favourite player comes into the starting 13 though, Dan?
Kobe Etherington.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that'll be interesting.
Yeah, don't know who's going to go up prop.
Kobe's a dog, bro.
He is a dog.
He's okay.
Alright.
To be fair, he's Manly's currently second best forward, so fair play to him.
Third best.
Oh, okay.
Amole Olakoatu.
Middle forward.
Oh. You just said forward, that's all. Nah, sorry, continue.
Ashton Ward, an interesting one, 6 to 8 week injury, which means obviously Jaden Sullivan into the side this week. Definitely avoid that. Humphreys is coming back next week, so not a pickup at all. But yeah, important to note that there's less pressure on Humphreys owning that position with Ashton Ward out. Matty Nicholson is being talked about for a potential shoulder reconstruction, which means that Noah Martin is getting the green tick from me. I think he won't play 80 minutes all the time, but I think on the weeks that he does, you will need to have him as a cheapie. Harry Grant set to return unharmed from that injury. Same with on the same line for hookers, Sam Verrills as well set to return. Both had a bit of a injury scare, or looked like they had a bit of an injury scare, but they've both been named to start without any bench cover. So yeah, not a big concern there. Will Penasini, which we touched on in the team list, drops out with an unknown sort of injury or maybe illness, anything. I have no idea. There's no reports on it yet at all.
Yeah.
But it does mean Jordan Samrani comes into the side. So, yeah. With the Fox returning as well, they're quite low on outside backs in that team. And so Samrani is going to fill that spot at centre, which I think is great for him. Great player, deserves a bit of a chance and a run. So,
Sure.
Yep. Final one is Spencer Linu, 4 to 6 weeks with his hamstring injury. Fiketti, I believe it is, that probably moves into the bigger minute role off the bench. But obviously there's been a whole reshuffle with the Roosters pack. It'll be interesting to see who plays more minutes. I think Nath White and Lindsay Collins will play most of the minutes up for grabs there. Yeah, I think Egan Butcher and Blake Steep will do that sort of switch, and then some minutes off the bench for some other players as well.
Can I tickle your interest on the power again? I was just got the cogs turning in my brain there. But is Brian Kelly on the wing, or is it Bailey Simonson on that right wing?
No, Brian Kelly's in the reserves. I think it's Simonson on the wing.
So we're bringing in Jordan Samrani instead of centre Brian Kelly?
Yeah, it is interesting.
Why?
I honestly don't know. Yeah, it's a good point that he phrased it. Because didn't Brian Kelly play last week?
Yes.
Maybe he's being dropped. Maybe it is just a dropping.
Really?
I don't remember him playing particularly terribly, to be honest.
Well, they didn't start him in any of the preseason games.
I don't think you have to. I wouldn't take too much from that, but by him, you mean Brian Kelly?
Yes.
I wouldn't take too much from that. I think preseason, they'll do whatever they want. But it does feel kind of crazy that you'd rather have Sam Rani over Kelly in the centres.
They did play a full strength team in week 2, though. It feels like if you're ever going to give Brian Kelly a week to run with the team and see how he performed, that would be the week if you were keen on him.
He played last week, though. Like, it's not like he did get a chance.
But, like, was that they need to play him sort of thing? They have Sam Rani, obviously. Maybe they don't want to play him either.
Sam Rani would have been fit last week as well, I reckon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they're tossing up between the two of them as who's that.
That feels ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah.
You might be right, but that feels ridiculous.
Yeah, I tend to agree. But yeah, that kind of finishes up for the Physio Files. Hopefully there's some interesting talking points for you there. Not really anyone I'd say is a must pick up based on the injuries this week, other than obviously Noah Martin, who's been talked about at length and we will continue to talk about shortly. But yeah, I think it's just an interesting week to see sort of how roles adapt based on injury.
Yep. Beautiful. Alrighty. Let's move into our panic buys and sells. Just a quick recap again. How this works, we're going to give players a rating from 1 to 10. If we're saying they're a panic buy, how much we're panicking to buy them from 1 to 10. So 10 being very panicky and 1 being not. And then the same for sells, 10 being we really want to sell them or 1 being really we don't want to. Starting off, should we go buys or sells first? Maybe we start with...
Let's do buys.
Let's do buys.
Those are good to get.
Let's do buys first. My first panic buy, as we've already talked about ad nauseum, Noah Martin. Honestly, I'm going to give him like a 9. If I had a good feasible way to bring him in this week, I probably would. I think lots of people are the same. I would also say this, though. I wouldn't take your team apart for Noah Martin. If you have an edge-back rower who you're still like on the fence about, I don't know if I'd be like, for example, I've got Jermaine McEwen this week. I could go McEwen down to Noah Martin. I kind of just want to give another look at McEwen because what if he gets like 90 and I trade him out?
Yeah.
So, but if you have like, I think a Lasati, I'd go to Noah Martin. If you have a Cooper Bye, those kind of guys who are like more fringy, I would absolutely do them to Noah Martin. So yeah, I'd say like a 9.
Interesting. Yeah, I am definitely giving strong consideration. I currently have 4 premium second rows about whether I drop a premium, maybe a Carrigan. Obviously, I'm going to give him this week to sort of perform, but didn't quite play the role I suspected on the weekend. Could have been a one-off. That's why I'll give him the week. But yeah, I'm quite content with saving money there if I was to drop him down to Noah Martin and go 3 second row GPs.
Cool.
Yeah, I hold the exact same opinion.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very strongly agree with your 9.
Lovely.
Okay, cool. Yeah. My buy of the week is Ethan Sanders, and my current rating. I'll just drop a little story time that won't take up too much time. But I was strongly basically going to trade in Sanders from Atkinson this week, but then after a bit of thought, I thought that maybe that's potentially not the best idea, especially considering Sanders' fixtures. I think he goes Warriors into someone else hard. I don't know, whatever. But
it's
anyway,
a tough draw. It's a tough draw.
The premise is if Sanders doesn't perform after his 90 doesn't mean as much because it's going to stay in his rolling average for 1 week. And if Atkinson bangs out a 60 versus Storm, that's probably all you really need from him. So yeah, from that point, I'll probably say Sanders this week is a 3 or 4 buy for me. I don't think it's a very smart buy at all.
As well, you're talking about Sanders' draw heating up. I know Atkinson's draw after the Storm game are very light.
Pretty light, yeah, from what I did some research on. But yeah.
I guess maybe I slightly differ. I think I'd personally put it a little bit higher. I think it's a good flip just purely on the goal kicking alone. His goal kicking looked great on the weekend. I wasn't sure about it. Obviously, I didn't really know he was a known goal kicker until he got the green light. But Raiders are going to score points. And if they score points, he's going to kick goals. So maybe he's a little bit better of an option than Atkinson in my eyes for that. I'm not saying it's a must, but maybe a 5. If you're really worried and you need someone upcoming, if one of your halves has a bye and you don't want to play Atkinson on that week, maybe you could consider it.
Yeah, I just think him being better doesn't mean it warrants a trade, would be what I say.
No, I tend to agree. Yeah, I don't think you need to panic on him. You can probably bring him in at any point. So
I think it's pretty uncontroversial that Sanders is better than Atkinson.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on to my panic buy, Cody Walker. For me, I'm going to put this at like a 6. And purely on the fact that Pezzett looked woeful. And if there's anyone to flip to, it's either Walker or Trindle. And I think Walker's probably the better option there. look, I'm not going to do it this week, but it's strongly playing on my mind whether next week I get off Pezzett if he has another bad game. He looked pretty atrocious in that Storm game. Obviously, they got hammered. That's why I think you need to give it the week before you panic and do that. The main concern for me is just the money. You have to find so much extra money for that. So, yeah, I think it's an extra 170K.
Yeah.
I started the season with 130 in the bank, which is like pretty rogue standards. I just liked my team as it was, and it was fine in the end. But even I don't have enough money with that. And if it means that you're going to have to use 2 trades to facilitate that, I don't think it's an option this week at all. You do not want to use 2 trades week 2.
So still a 6? Or?
I think a 6 for the trade, but maybe this week it's like a 3. And then next week it might be like a 6.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah. I think it's a valid point. I think 5'8" is just an absolute dumpster fire still.
Yes.
And the blokes who got the points are just the blokes who look the most appealing at the moment. So, I mean, that'll probably all change this week if there's different guys who get points. But for now, it's Cody Walker and Trindle, so you kind of have to look at them to some extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
cool.
I think we're on to our panic sells then.
Do you want to snake back down?
Yeah, we'll
with
snake
the
back down.
trend of you
Go for
leading
it.
into the other one?
All right, we had a lot of discussion off camera about this one. But Jesse Colquhoun for me, and I'm putting him at a 3.
Wow.
And I'm going to say that this is not the week to trade him. All viewers, this is not the week to trade him. All right. I just do not believe that either any of the cheapies are set in stone. I think Noah Martin, for me, even the player he is, like Simi Sasagi is just a better, more proved player for me. There's a chance that next week when Timbercock comes back to full fitness, maybe Noah Martin doesn't start. Maybe he does and plays less minutes, but I think that uncertainty for me is just enough. And it's same with Ryan Couchman. We've seen him play 1 week. We don't really know the role. Obviously, it was a bit of a weird week. Want to see how the bench changes when Little comes back for him as well. So, yeah, I think Colquhoun made his break-even last week, made above his break-even. He scored 44. He's priced at like 32, I think. So, still going to go up money there. And I think you just wait and watch on him to see who to go down to.
Yeah, I strongly disagree. I would say that in the plethora of second row cheapies we have at the moment, in the Ryan Couchman, the Noah Martin, the Lasati, the Chan, all of that, I think there's so many better options. You probably wait on most of those guys, but I think as we, as Dan kind of alluded to or even said earlier, Noah Martin is an ideal bring in this week because we know what the role's probably going to look like. Even if he gets 50 to 60 minutes, he still is a massive try-scoring threat in that Raiders team outside Ethan Sanders.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that...
Ethan Strange.
Oh, sorry.
Ethan
Yeah, Strange has moved to the right.
Strange.
Sanders did play him that ball for that try.
Yeah,
though.
which is why I was getting a bit confused.
He played in... That was almost like a link man role from the middle.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, playing on that right side, I think the Raiders love to use their second rows. Even if he gets 50 to 60 minutes and the weeks he gets 80, I think he's a very strong buy. And if you want to free up and use week 3 trades to your maximum, even if you're using a boost there, I think he's got to go this week. Colquhoun, we said it in the team list. The Dragons bench looks pretty strong. Sharks bench, sorry. I don't know why I said that. Sharks bench looks pretty strong. He did what we thought he would do. If you had him from week 1, I think there's way better options you can go to. Probably wait on the others, but yeah.
I think I'm more towards Elliot than Ben. I think if you started with Colquhoun, you objectively made a bad decision. I think we all knew he was going to not be that great. I think he'll make 100K, but I think Noah Martin could make like 300K.
Yeah.
So
sorry, just to reiterate, my point isn't to not trade him. I just think you need the extra week to see the roles.
Yeah, I think if you have enough fires in your team where you think you need to make an extra trade this week, I could see it. But I can also see waiting an extra week just to see how Noah Martin goes. Colquhoun's not like Cooper Bye or whoever I said before, where it's like you absolutely can go. You're not going to become the guy.
My question, I guess, for you, Elliot, if like you're bringing in Noah Martin this week, are you going to play him?
Yes.
You are going to play him.
I was thinking about it. I think I am. Yeah.
If I'm bringing him Noah Martin, which I'm not, but if I was, I'd play him.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Oh, then
I don't see how you can not based on last week.
Yeah, I mean, they have the Warriors away is my rebuttal.
You got 60 in base. So
yeah,
that's
true
enough.
that.
I'm sure he's not going to get that every single week, but even if he gets 50, like that's pretty good. That's what most second rowers got last week anyway.
Yeah, I guess I just wonder what reserve you're going to drop from last week to play him.
Flegler.
Okay, that's
Definitely.
easy for you then. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Also, just a point, you'd make like 70k going Colhoun to Noah Martin, so I just think that's an
Could
extra
be needed
point
at
there.
fullback.
Yeah. I do think, I'm all for doing it next week. I just don't know about this week
Fair.
for me.
I think it's team dependent, definitely.
Awesome. And my sell, lads, is none other than flashy Reece Walsh with the buzz cut. I was a very emotional man last Friday night. Let's just put it that way, lads. Obviously, as the listeners know, I picked up the veggie burger. Broncos didn't score a point. Bloody Grant Atkins I think that was the ref. Yeah, he was making a meal of it.
Adam G.
6 again. Adam G. Sorry, yeah, my mistake. But yeah,
Was it not actually Klein?
He was
in the bunker.
Oh, yep.
That's why that ball went backwards, because he was in the bunker.
I thought there was a bit of a Todd Smith Ranger spray paint on Adam G's head that night. But yeah, I was a very emotional man. I was definitely strongly on the Reece Walsh trade out, even though I don't own him, but I was quite upset. But no, I think I've done a full flip and think that Reece Walsh is a major hold this week. I think in terms of a sell, are we saying that the higher number is the more of a sell he is? All right, well, I think he's a 3 or 4 again. I think maybe a 4 or 5. I'll give him a little bit of justice there. 4 or 5. You could easily flip to Ponga, make money. Good fixture versus Manly. But I think Para had 50 on they can't win the comp.
Yeah.
Are they really going to show up at Suncorp? Maybe it's going to be a closer game than 50 to 4. I'm sure Donk Riles is going to get him up and going. But yeah, I think he's going to be good. I think he's that pod option. I think is he the most traded out player this week? Second most, something like that. He's definitely top 3.
Quarter, isn't it?
Probably.
1 and 2, probably.
But I think he is. You can easily go against De Grain there, and I think he's a stronger hold than Scotty Drinks.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way. Obviously, I don't have the luxury of that, but yeah, I think
I'd say
4 to 5.
I'd say like a 2 for Reece.
Yeah.
If you've brought him in after 1 week and you think he's a completely different player, I think you've lost your head, to be honest. I think he's absolutely the same guy he was. He didn't have a good game against probably the premiership favourites. I think he will be completely fine. He's probably going to lose some money, but you don't lose money if you don't sell him.
Yeah.
You also don't make money, fair. But if you're just going to hold him for the season, which I think is completely fair play, then just hold him.
And Broncos Thursday night, absolutely a VC option. If you don't VC him and you have him, you just why are you playing?
Yep.
But yeah,
just to sort of reiterate your points, in as brief as I can, round 3 draw onwards looks easy as hell.
Well, from tonight onwards.
Yeah.
Isn't it like Eels and then Cowboys and then...
No, Eels, Storm, then Cowboys. But after that Storm fixture, it goes unbelievably easy.
But like, you'd be stupid to not hold him if you sell him now and then he goes explosive in those rounds where he's versus some bad opponents and you have to bring him back in. That is like such a waste. Just keep him.
Yeah.
If you think the Storm is that bad of a matchup, just don't play him. Sit him on your bench. It seems counterintuitive, but there's enough cheapies to play there at the moment. Just sit him on your bench and then wait until his draw gets easy. There's no reason to trade him in my mind at all.
Cool. My sell, I'm picking a player that I actually own, which makes it a little bit more personal for me. Casey McLean. It was a tough week for me and Casey, but I'm going to say like a 3 or a 4. I still love Casey. I think he's still got the potential. I think it was a little bit of a weird game where he didn't get a lot of base. If that repeats, my concern will skyrocket. But for now, I'm okay with it. I think he's very likely to get a try every game or every other game, so he'll be consistent from that standpoint. And I think his base and power is pretty high. I think he's still in a good spot in that left centre. So I'm pretty happy to hold Casey until they good draw and further.
Another Casey McLean owner, Ben?
Yeah, I agree. You know what? He's just like, he's going to have those weeks. It's okay. If he performs badly, I'm going to like label him as fullback fodder. That's what I'm going to call him because he's going straight to bring in a fullback. But if not, I'll just hold him. If he gets anything upwards of 60 this week, I'll be more than happy with that.
Yeah, I think it's a good point as well because I think next week, where everyone will be looking to bring in all the fullbacks, most people I assume will have a centre wing at flex. Whoever is the most underperforming of those expensive centre wings will be getting cut. So like I've currently got Val, who's on the chopping block. Casey probably enters that tier as well. I know some people are talking about Critter, which I think is crazy, but one of those guys will probably have to go. So I guess he's in that discussion for now.
Yeah, definitely a contention for next week. I think, though, strongly, absolute zero.
Yes,
I don't
I
think
agree.
he's even on it. He's definitely not a trade this week. If you're trading out Casey McLean this week, it's silly. He scored, what, 40?
38.
38? Okay, so that is pretty disappointing, actually. But think about the tries Jenkins scored. He scored an intercept and then the bat back to Casey McLean, obviously. Doesn't get the line break, doesn't get whatever else attacking stats kind of there. It was a terrible game. The amount of errors from even both sides, like Broncos were terrible, but Penrith were far off their best.
Yeah.
Didn't really have the silky attack down the left there. It's going to come. We know who Casey McLean is. He scores, 2 tries in that in the Pacific Champs, first game. Or
three tries.
3 in that, hat trick, easy. Yeah, no, you keep him. He's the same player.
I
It's
agree.
the same, it's the
I
same
do agree.
argument for
It is just the fact that I will have to sell one of those center wings. So.
which could be a conversation for next week, but for this week,
Oh, for this week, no.
Yeah, definitely not this week.
Beautiful. I think that's our buys and ourselves done.
Move on to our trades of the week and our VC and captain.
I'll start because I'll be nice, quick, and simple. No trades this week. As I explained before, if I had a good way, like a very good way to go to Noel Martin, I'd do it. Otherwise, I'm just happy to wait. I think my team's pretty good. I see a lot of people being like, oh, I've got so many things to do next week to fix my team. I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty good. I think I've got pretty much every single cheapie at center wing, right? Fullback definitely needs some work, but I think everyone's the same in that. I think if you just go, a second row down to Noel Martin and you fund your fullback through another center wing, I think that's pretty much it.
on a week where the top score was 1655 and we scored around the high 12s and got like 40,000, high 38,000s or whatever.
Pretty good.
How are there that many fires if a great score is 13, 14?
I just don't understand who all these people have who they're determined to trade out.
Yeah, I think that's genuine panic. And if you're going to panic, these are the same people that are going to be scoring 800, 900 in the last 5 weeks of the round. So definitely hold on to your trades. It's a super good and, rewarding tactic. And that's definitely something I want to improve on this year.
I might just drop my VCs and Cs real quick, or do you want to do that after?
Probably do that.
VC, I've currently got it on Latrell. A little bit unconvinced, though. I looked back at his record against the Roosters. Not overly impressive at all. And now he's got Toya marking up on him, which is a tough matchup.
Yeah.
But I think it will be him or Nathan. Oh, no, I don't have Cleary. Oh, it's a shame.
Come to Taylor May, mate.
Taylor May. And then my captain will obviously be Herbie Farmworth. He doesn't have a good record against the Titans, but I do not care. I think he could get 200.
Oh, yeah. This is the 1 week of the year I'm scared to not have Herbie. Over the first 4 weeks, I should say, for that. This is the one.
This is the payoff week, hopefully.
We might even skip you and come back because you got the most to talk about the end.
Sure.
0 trades for me. I think I've got 3 trades in my mind for next week. I'm going to use the boost. Round 3, probably a perfect time to use a boost, but I'm just going to save my trades this week. There's no point chucking Carrigan down to Noel Martin after 1 week. Like, I want to wait and see what happens there.
Who are your cheapie second row, sorry? Chan and
Arama Howe. So
you're not doing either. You're not doing either of them
with
to
both
Martin.
of their performances. Arama Howe 54 with 1 line break in a game where the Titans barely touched the ball. So absolutely fine with that. VC, as I said before, Taylor May. I'm just taking a punt. Stafford Toa got 130 last year on that right center spot. I think Taylor May is a better player. Whether that repeats, who knows? But I think it's just a bit of a fun punt. Jackson Purdue, not typically the best defensive center, not a bad defensive center, but quite a small body. Taylor May, a powerful ball runner. I think it's a pretty good matchup.
Fair enough.
I'm just going to back that in. And then my captain will be Nathan Cleary against the Sharks. Not doesn't have similar to your players, doesn't have the best record, but look, he's probably going to struggle to not get 80 in a high scoring affair. So I think that's fine there for me.
Fair.
Alrighty. I am making the 1 trade this week, going to Noel Martin from Cooper Bye. Cooper Bye was only really in my team because he was the only sort of other second rower I could afford at that price and try to kind of fit everything into my team. Yeah, that's it. Pretty self-explanatory. I was looking at a Atkinson to Sanders, but obviously pivoted from that. Probably going to do it next week, maybe pending obviously scores and what people get. If Atkinson knocks out another 30, I'll probably move to Sanders pretty quickly. But that's all right. That's obviously next week. VCs and captains. VC on Trell currently. Really tempted by the Taylor May. I would not be surprised if that gets updated, and I will do so with the stories, and I will bow down to Ben in doing so. But currently on Trell, kicks goals, looked good on that left edge last week. Happy to have a piece of it. And here's where it gets really interesting, lads. Captain Beau Fermor. Everyone clap it through. Come on. Yeah. All right. Here's the thinking, lads. Obviously, it's a bit rogue there. Not even that many people own Pod Fermor. I was going to say, but yeah. I've gone captain. I think if it works out, could be big for me. And we just have seen his floor in round 1 in a 50-point blowout. Yeah, 50-point blowout against the Sharks. He scored 50 points on the dot. I'm pretty happy with that. Payne Haas only got 68 last week. Nathan Cleary goes up against the Sharks. Obviously, Nathan Cleary wasn't very strong last week. I think there's a chance that those two Payne Haas isn't a captain option this week, obviously playing on the Thursday. But yeah, I think they're not going to be massively strong captain options this week, pending obviously performance. But I also, to that, Beau Fermor matches up against the Dolphins right edge, which the South's left edge ran a train on last week. Obviously, Cody Walker had a day out.
Are you worried that South
punched through? Obviously, Souths are good.
Yeah.
Obviously, Titans were terrible last week. I think Hane will get him back up. He's proving a point by backing his side in picking the exact same 19. Tino's not gonna want to get destroyed again. I don't think leaders in that team will want to get destroyed again. I know they didn't particularly resemble a football side until like the late into that game, but I think it'll be stronger there. I think we've also brought up the stat that Beau Fermor likes running off AJ, running at Avarillo. I'm more than happy to have a piece of it. And if his floor is 50 and the good players get another 68, 70, not much can go wrong unless Nathan Cleary punches it out. I don't think I've lost too much if Beau Fermor gets another 50.
Fair enough.
I think he won't.
My only fear, it's not really a fear because it's still a great option. In fact, when you brought it up at first, I was like, oh, what's he doing here? And then I was like, you know what, it's actually not the worst thing because he's either going to get 50 to 60 or he's going to get a try and he's going to get 80. I think you could probably bank on him getting some sort of try contribution involvement, something like that. My fear with the play is he is running at Isaiah Katoa, who is probably one of the best defensive halves in the league. Bit of a bigger body. Just a little bit of consideration there. If they get him one-on-one, like we saw it last week, David Fafita, for all his might, could not get a try. Got that one where Isaiah Katoa had to take the legs and he got the offload. Don't know if Beau Fermor quite has the ball-playing skills that David Fafita maybe has. But I think it's a great option regardless. You just take a punt on it, right? I should say with Taylor May for me as well, it's going to take a big score for me to rip my team apart, just purely because if you do, then I'll have to take out one of my premium centre wings to VC because Crichton's my only non-playing player. So, yeah. Look, I think it's a great captaincy option. Bit rogue, but why not? I don't think there's many ways it can go wrong.
You couldn't just take out a cheapie to...
Yeah.
Well, the cheapie I'm playing is Makasini.
Well, you'd definitely take him out, wouldn't you?
But they play in the same game. So I'm actually not going to be able to know whether I want to take him out.
Then you just take out one of your other reserves, right? Who else? Reed Money you're playing. You take out...
He plays in that game as well.
Oh, in that game.
Yeah. This is my fear.
Do you lose out on...
You could just play Fiamani over Maxini. I don't think that's a horrendous drop-off.
I would rather play...
Well, who would you drop out then if you did go Makasini?
What?
If you played Makasini and you VC loop Taylor May, yeah, but who would you loop with? Who would drop out?
Yeah, I haven't given it consideration. So I think what will end up happening is...
Surely you just don't play Makasini and then just go Fiamani.
Yeah, or Leo or anyone. Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty, that's our trades and captain's done for the week. We'll update our consensus team on our stories because we haven't talked about it yet between the three of us.
Yeah.
So do that later. Tips for the week. We're going to start chucking in our tips for the week in the end of this podcast. You would have been seeing on our Instagram and we will keep uploading those to keep you posted. But we're going to say them here as well. So let's let the...
Just going to rattle through them.
Yeah, we'll just rattle through them.
All right, so Broncos versus Eels.
Broncos 13+. All
right. Elliot.
I'll go Broncos 13+.
I'm going to go controversially Broncos 1-12.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Waz Raiders. Daniel. I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to go...
Waz 1-12.
I'm going to go Waz 13+.
I'm going to go Raiders 1-12. I think I like them enough.
And Dan's going Raiders 1-12. Awesome.
Waz.
Roosters, Rabbits. Daniel.
I'm going to go Rogue. I'm going to go Roosters 1-12.
I don't think that's Rogue. I was actually thinking the same thing.
Oh, really?
So,
I think Rabbitohs are favourites, surely.
I think they are, but I expect a bounce back game from the Roosters.
Yep.
I think Rabbitohs 1 to 12.
Yeah, fair. Doesn't feel 13 plus.
The absolute scenes when Alex Johnson breaks the try scoring record and then the bunker overturns it.
Yeah, let's hope so.
And everyone's on the field
I'll teach
watching
everyone.
the big screen.
5,500 if you go on that field, by the way. So hopefully people have some money to spend.
Yep.
Tigers, Cowboys.
Tigers 13 plus.
Yeah, I like it.
I think Tigers 1 to 12 in a shootout. It's going to be big overs,
Yeah.
over points.
Just with the Drinkwater injury, I'm going to go Tigers 13 plus. I think it could go either way, though. I think it's a Tigers win at Leichhardt. But yeah.
The Tigers are bad at Leichhardt, aren't they?
No, the Cowboys are bad.
No, I remember hearing the Tigers are bad. I'm going to switch. I'm going to go Cows 1 to 12. Sorry, Ben.
Wait, I need to fact check it's at Leichhardt.
It is at Leichhardt, definitely,
It
100%.
is.
Okay.
I'm going to go Cows 1 to 12. Bounce back game from Vegas.
Cows 1 to 12?
Yeah.
Easy. All right, Dragons, Storm.
Storm 1 to 12. Dragons put up a fight.
Storm 1 to 12. Suafalongo 24. Just saying.
I'm going to go...
Oh, say it, mate. You know you want to. Say it. No, you've said it
Do
now.
it.
You have to say it. You have to say it.
Nah, I'm going Storm 1 to 12.
Oh, you're so boring.
I wouldn't have even pushed back on it.
No, well, the Dragons, to their credit, won.
They won last year.
1 to 12 at Jubilee.
In the pouring rain, to be fair.
Yes, I think the Storm are just better this year
Yep.
than the Dragons are. So, yeah. Penrith Sharks.
Penrith 1 to 12.
Yep.
Almost said 13 plus, though.
Penrith 1 to 12.
I'm going to echo Dan's thoughts and go Penrith 13 plus. I think the Sharks are versing a whole new caliber
Interesting.
of team this week.
Okay.
Manly Knights.
Ooh. Knights 1 to 12. I wonder how many games this year I'll pick Manly to win.
Yeah. I picked them to win last week. And I wasn't far off in Golden Point. But Knights 1 to 12 for me.
Done so
The
many-
Knights forward pack's too good.
Yeah. I low-key leaning towards 13 plus, but yeah, I'm going to do it. I think I've picked so many 13 pluses this week already.
Interesting.
But then I don't think it's controversial the Knights win that.
No.
I think
it's fair.
I just think Manly could just fall apart
Yeah.
when their bench comes on. So
Yep.
I'm going to go 13 plus. And final game, Dolphins Titans.
I'm going to go rogue. I'm going to go Titans 1 to 12. I was not impressed by the Dolphins last week.
I'll go Finns 1 to 12.
Easy. I'm also going to go Finns 1 to 12 for that one. So yeah,
Awesome.
Lovely.
that's our picks. Obviously, roll over to our Insta to check out the full tips and plays to watch from those games. Might shed some light into some VC options as well if you are over there.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think that pretty much rounds out our podcast today. Thanks for joining us as usual. Hopefully you enjoyed our new segment with the tier list. If it's something you enjoyed, please drop it in the comments so we know to do it again. We've made the template now. You can play it. It'll obviously try and put that in the link in our bio as soon as possible for that one. But easy to recreate. So we can do one of those for every position now if you guys want it. Just let us know in the comments. And obviously, as usual, jump over to our Insta. There's a bunch of cool content rolling out there. You can jump in the comments of our latest reel and flame me or flame someone in the upcoming ones as well. Feel free to do that. So, yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.